In my bathroom, I've got builder grade mirrors and I want to get rid of them, but I know there's a cheap and inexpensive way by going down to the hardware store and grabbing some 1x4s. Here's a hint. Look at this board down the side. Ugh, that's ugly. Look at this one. It's a lot better and a lot straighter. So we're going to grab some of these. First thing I'm going to do is measure the width of the mirror and the height. Cutting one side of the board, I'm going to get that first mitered 45 degrees. I'm then going to take my tape measure on the top part and measure out 62.5 inches. The mirror was 62 inches long, but I want to go a ½ inch over. It gives it kind of a floating look. And match it to another board so the top and the bottom are exactly the same size without having to measure. Once I get that cut, what it's time to do is go to the Craig jig. I'm going to use this on the back side and get some pocket hole screws. These are invisible screws from the front and they're great. This little jig is perfect for all your furniture needs. Once I go ahead and get it together, but what I need to do is put some glue on there. That little screw doesn't hold just right by itself. So once I get that glue in there, I'm going to put it together. I'm going to go ahead and insert the screw, put it in there, and then use everything that comes with it, including this bit, and put it together. Now the board's separated, but I kept putting some pressure on it and it came together. Once that glue gets all set up, I'm going to go ahead and go over to the other side, do the same thing, glue that joint. Once those all set up, I'm going to go ahead and flip it over because that was the back side that we were screwing. And then we're going to take some of the scrap woods and elevate it across the table. Then we're going to get some white paint. It's going to really look good against those gray walls that I have in the bathroom. Now I use a foam roller instead of a brush. That gets rid of all the brush strokes, and that foam roller does a great job and gives me a nice smooth coverage. Now, I could put some primer down first, but I think on this one, I'm just going to go with that paint and primer look. It's time to take it inside. Now watch this. We don't want a permanent install, so I'm going to use some two-sided 3M tape. The stuff's great and it's really sticky. So I'm going to pull that off, stick it to the board, and I'm going to go ahead and hold it down there for about a good 30 seconds. Once I get it on there, I'm going to peel the other side off, and then I can go ahead and set it in place. I'm going to put it behind the faucet, behind the light, give it a little bit of pressure, put it all around, and look at that. It turned out absolutely amazing. I love it. You can take any builder grade mirror and make it just look absolutely amazing. I hope you guys like this project as much as I did, and I hope it inspired you to build your own framed mirror in your bathroom or any other room.
took these floral decals and placed them along the side of the door frame. I cut the decal and repositioned it. I continued up along the door frame, making sure to wrap the flowers. I added a few leaf decals sparingly.
Head to Dollar Tree and pick up 3 glass carafes. Take twine and wrap, tie, and secure around the glass, and clip parts of the plant off. Add water to the glass bottles and then add clippings to the water. Hang a curtain rod and add more twine or rope from the rod.
I'm gonna go right down the center and just cut them in half so that I have that flat edge to go flush against the board. Space the noodles out with a little bit of spacing in between, and then attach them also with the staple gun for some added stability. I worked in sections of about 4 at a time, sprayed a little bit of spray adhesive on, and then just kind of used my hands to firmly work the leather into the channels. I trimmed the edge at the corner and then just tucked it over and secured it tightly with a little bit of spray adhesive, and then also more of the staples. Once that corner was secure, I just worked my way down.
I printed a deer design from my computer and traced it on a clear Ziploc bag. I cut a square hole in the cardboard box using a utility knife. Next, I taped the Ziploc bag design over the hole. Then I placed the box in front of the wall. I turned my cell phone light on. I put it inside of the box at the opposite end as the design, and I closed the lid. Put covers over the windows. I traced the design on the wall using a pencil. Once I was done, I turned the lights back on and was ready to paint. I was careful to work from top down and left to right so I didn't smudge the wet paint. When it was completely dry, I removed the remaining pencil marks with an eraser and damp rag.
I fell in love with this beautiful floral fabric. We measured the wall to make sure we purchased enough. We knew we needed 3 panels, so we had them cut accordingly. We started in the corner and used a staple gun to secure the fabric in place. After that, we used spray adhesive to ensure the fabric was well secured. Before drying starts, gently smooth out all air bubbles. Don't forget to overlap about 1 inch with each panel for a smooth transition, and line up your patterns as best you can. Once all panels are hung, smooth and staple along the bottom about 1/4 inch above your baseboard. Using an X-Acto knife, cut fabric starting in the top corner going down. This will help to make sure the fabric does not stretch or tear. Place your knife between the baseboard and a credit card to help you make the perfect straight line. Gently cut around any outlets.
I think you'll be amazed at what you can create using discarded furniture. I took some bamboo sticks, which I had purchased from Amazon, and I measured the length of the front of the drawer. I cut the bamboo sticks to this length, decided that I was going to remove and discard the top drawer. I removed the old doorknobs from the remaining drawers, and then I sanded them down lightly. I spaced out my bamboo sticks, and then I applied them, simply using liquid nails. I took the drawers and the cabinets outside, and I spray painted them. While I was outside, I also cut a thin piece of plywood so that it would replace where that top drawer was that I had removed. I simply slid this into place and continued painting the entire nightstand. I added new pulls, which I had purchased online as well.
Do you have one of those dorm-style door mirrors? Let's give it an update. Tape off the mirror with paper and spray paint the wood frame. Remove any spray paint from the mirror that might have gotten onto the glass, and then clean with some glass cleaner. Measure and cut some rattan webbing. Spray one side of each rattan piece with spray adhesive. Place and press the rattan pieces onto each end of the glass on the mirror, and place some heavy books on top for a couple of hours.
Some cardboard, trace out a hexagon. Then what I did was I used the sharp knife to cut out the cardboard. Next, I grabbed an old foam pad I had and also used the exact same template and cut it out. I used some regular old wood glue, put it down on the cardboard, and then glued the foam to it. We're gonna lay the fabric out, and what you'll do is turn it around and just grab a stapler, and it holds it in place just like that. But what you get on the other side is you get your hexagon covered in fabric. I took all the hexagons and on the back and used a paint stick and stapled through them to hold them together.
Grab some pegboard hooks and shelves from your local dollar store and buy some inexpensive pegboards. Do you have leftover peel and stick wallpaper? Lay your wallpaper face down on a table and position the pegboards on the paper with a few inches of space between each pegboard. Outline each pegboard with a pencil and cut out each piece of wallpaper, including an additional inch outside the outline. Cut out the corners of the wallpaper, peel the backing off the wallpaper, and lay the pegboard face down on the sticky side of the paper. Press down firmly, wrap the outer edges of the wallpaper up and over the side edges of the pegboard. Take a screwdriver, pencil, or other poker-type object and poke holes through the wallpaper and into the pegboard holes. Hang the pegboard with the hardware provided so it is secure on the wall. Line up with the wallpaper pattern on your wall with the covered pegboard. Insert the pegboard hooks into the wallpapered pegboard to hold your keys.
I hit the hardware store and picked up some 2x2s and some 3/4 inch plywood. I measured and cut the 2x2s to the height of the headboard that I ultimately wanted to have. Once my frame was built, I added my plywood pieces on top. I screwed these pieces of wood into place. My next step was to cover it the way I wanted it to look. My solution was actually to purchase a 5x7 foot jute rug online. The price of this rug was only $62. Placed the rug around it and started to staple it into place.
I'm going to give the surface of the cabinet a quick sanding. I'm going to paint the cabinet with some creamy white chalk paint. I'm going to brush on a layer of decoupage glue and then lay on my paper. So I'm going to use my hands to flatten it out. I want to slice off the rest of the paper and want to give it one final coat of the decoupage glue. I can use a sanding block to gently take off any excess. I want to also remove the paper from those. I'm going to finish it all off with a coat of wax.
I wanted to create a dimensional wood wall. I decided to use wood shims. I stained the wood shims using a water-based stain. I stained the shims in varying degrees, some with just one light coat and others with up to 7 coats to make them nice and dark. I started attaching the stained wood shims to the wall using construction adhesive. I found it best to first place the long pieces in a random pattern on the wall and then overlay these with the shorter pieces. This way, I was building up the wall dimensionally as well as varying the color throughout. There were some gaps between the pieces, and so I had to cover these with smaller pieces at the end. When it came to the light switch on the wall, I just worked right up to the switch.
I am going to show you how to make 3 high-end looking headboards using supplies from Dollar Tree. You're going to start by flipping it over so the white side is facing down. On the back, I am using 2 paint sticks and I'm going to hot glue them over the creases. I grabbed a really lightweight towel. So I've ironed out all the creases, laying it flat on my table, and I'm going to put the piece of cardboard over the top and then just fold it around the sides and hot glue it in place. This is a really beautiful kind of beachy look. This next headboard uses peel and stick wallpaper tiles from Dollar Tree. And I laid them all out again on that trifold board, made sure that the patterns matched up. To finish off the edges, I am just folding that wallpaper over. Hang these up on a wall with some command strips and you've got a really stunning kind of modern looking headboard. Dollar Tree has these rolls of shelf liner. So starting with a trifold board as a base, I am just going to unroll onto the cardboard. I want to line up all these flowers so it looks like one continuous piece. For the back of this one, I am going to fold the remaining adhesive over the back so the edges look nice and finished. This is really easy to hang with command strips on a wall.
Take shaving cream and spray it all around the bathtub. Take a rubber or regular broom and scrub the bathtub thoroughly until it's clean. Then rinse off with water. Take the shaving cream and spray the toilet brush to clean it. Spray it on and let it sit for a while. When it's complete, the shaving cream and the residue will be gone. Take the shaving cream, spray it on a mirror, and use that and a microfiber towel or paper towels to wipe it down.
Dab Murphy oil on a cloth and clean your vehicle interior to give it that brand new look again. Dab some more on a cloth and clean all those fingerprints off your stainless steel appliances. Wipe clean with a dry cloth for a nice polished finish. Fill a bowl with warm water and pour Murphy oil into a separate bowl. simple. Use a toothbrush or cleaning brush to clean your jewelry. Look at those diamonds sparkle. Use the same setup to clean your wicker baskets. I always do this with ones I get from the thrift store. It adds moisture to rejuvenate the wicker and smells great too. Dab Murphy oil on a clean cloth and wipe down your wood furniture. It cleans and polishes. Pour some Murphy oil into a mop bucket with hot water and clean your floors. This works great on real wood floors too.
Grab some vinegar. Fill a reusable jar full of vinegar. Cut some citrus and peel off the peel. Place the peels into the vinegar. You can add a variety of other herbs. Place the jar into the refrigerator. After a week, open up a spray bottle, strain out and discard the peels and the rosemary and the other herbs you're using, and use this mixture to clean your tables and other surfaces. Add 1 3/4 cups of water to a bowl. 1/4 cup of vinegar, 1/4 teaspoon of Dawn dish soap. Grab any old pitcher and place some paper towels into the pitcher. Take your mixture and pour it into the center of the paper towels. Let it sit, then remove the center paper towel piece. You've now created disposable cleaning wipes. Wipe up your table and discard the paper towel. Keep the lid on to keep them from drying out. Add 1 cup of water, 1 cup of vinegar, 1 cup of rubbing alcohol, add a few drops of Dawn dish soap. Mix all of these ingredients together and pour the mixture into the spray bottle. Grab whatever steam mop you have. Fill it up with distilled water. Grab a reusable microfiber cloth. Wring out all of the excess water and make sure to wring it out well. And clip it into place on your steam mop. Once the steam mop is ready, you can use the reusable mop pad to clean your floor. You can spot treat with the mixture that you made by spraying it onto sticky residue, mud, dirt, any grease and grime. Once you are done, remove the pad, throw it in the laundry, and it's ready to reuse next time.
I used a funnel and I poured 1/2 cup of white vinegar, 1/4 cup of coconut oil, or you can use olive oil, 1/2 teaspoon of dish soap, and then 30 drops of fragrance or essential oils. After that, I replaced the spray nozzle on top and now it's ready to go. I used a microfiber cloth to apply the cleaner with. To use this leather cleaner, you're going to want to test out an inconspicuous spot on your couch first to make sure it works. I use my do-it-yourself leather cleaner to clean my entire vintage leather sofa.
Start by placing the tube into the sock. Put rice into the sock through the tube. Add a rubber band to the end to keep it closed. Place the sock into the microwave and warm it up for about 1 minute. Hold the sock out and place it inside your bed. This will warm up your sheets in your bed for when you crawl inside. If you have cold air leaking in through your doors, grab an old towel, fold it in half, and then roll it up. Grab 2 rubber bands and put them on either end to hold it closed. Place it in front of your door to stop that cold air from sneaking in. Grab some tape from the dollar store and use it to seal your windows. Place the tape on the top, the bottom, and the sides of the window to seal any leaking air in. You can also insulate windows by using some bubble wrap. Start by spraying some water onto the window and then add the bubble wrap. This will help keep your windows insulated and your house warmer during the winter time. Grab 2 terracotta pots. Start with a trivet. Place your tea light onto the trivet. Place the apple peeler upside down onto the trivet. Place the small terracotta pot, then place the large terracotta pot over the small terracotta pot. Place somewhere to keep you nice and warm. Grab some vegetable oil and a paper towel. Put the vegetable oil on the paper towel and rub it onto your shovel. The vegetable oil will stop the snow from sticking to the shovel, making it nice and easy for removal. Place sponges in the bottom of your refrigerator baskets to keep your fruits and vegetables fresh and help them last longer. The sponges will soak up any unwanted water or other moisture. Wrap a sponge in 2 different places around the handle and hold it in place with a rubber band. Place your hands on the sponges and begin shoveling, raking, or sweeping. It'll protect your hands from getting blisters. Grab some shaving cream from the dollar store. Sometimes odors sneak out from the bottom of our toilets. Take the shaving cream and spray it all along the crease of your toilet. With your rubber glove, spread it on so it covers and seals that whole opening. Let it set for approximately 10 minutes. You've now eliminated odors that were hiding underneath of your toilet between the seal and the toilet tank. Grab some Fabuloso from the dollar store. With a sharp object, poke a couple holes into the item. Place the cleaner inside the tank. A little bit of the Fabuloso will be released and will help clean your toilet. Grab a spray bottle. Fill the spray bottle with 3/4 water. Take a capful of Downy and place it into the spray bottle. Replace the lid, give it a little shake, and you've created a wonderful air freshener that you can use anywhere in your home. Grab a small bowl, place a little bit of vanilla extract into the bowl. Also add a little bit of water. Place the bowl onto a baking sheet and place the baking sheet in an oven. Close the oven door and turn the oven on approximately 350 degrees for about 30 minutes. This will help your house smelling fresh as the vanilla extract aroma fills your home.
We're gonna go to the grout on the floor. Oh, it gets so dirty. All you have to do is take some toilet bowl cleaner, especially the gel formula. Go ahead and place it on the grout and let it sit there for about 5 minutes. Go ahead and grab you one of those old toothbrushes and you're gonna give it a good scrubbing and you're gonna start seeing the color change. Grab a sponge, wipe it all up, and look at the difference. It restored that grout to its original color. How about a shower head that doesn't work correctly or has rust stains on it? What you have is mineral deposits inside the shower head. Just take a baggie, pour some vinegar in there. Take that bag, place it over your shower head, secure it with a clip or a rubber band, and you're gonna let it sit overnight. As you can see on the next day, a lot of that mineral deposits came through and is sitting in the bag. Remove the bag, go ahead and take a sponge, wipe it all off. It gets rid of the rust stains, and look at that. That shower head works perfectly.
So here's the big secret. Every pool noodle has a hole in it. So I'm gonna stick the pool noodle onto the faucet like this. Next, I take the other end of the pool noodle and I hold it down so that it aims in the center of the bucket. I turn the water on slowly and I just wait to fill the bucket to the level I want. Now, how easy is this? Now I'm ready to get mopping. Now, a lot of people have trouble with drafts coming in under doors. So the first thing I do is take a pool noodle and I'm gonna measure my door. What I picked up was a pillowcase from the dollar store. I'm gonna take this pool noodle, stick it inside. I'm gonna lay it back down on the table so it's nice and flat. I'm gonna go ahead and just wind it. So I'm gonna put a little dab of hot glue here, and then I'm just gonna run this along the edge. So this end is open because this is the top of the pillowcase. So all I'm gonna do is stick the pillowcase into the hole. Velcro adhesive. So I'm gonna go ahead and peel off the adhesive and I'm gonna place it. Now I have peeled the backing off and I'm going to stick it to door. Here it is on the door. And I can still open and close the door with ease. So what I've got here is a pool noodle from an old project that's already cut. And then what I need to do from here is just take a pen or a pencil or marker and just kind of mark where this spot is. I'm just gonna go ahead and make a slit into about half of the pool noodle. Next, I'm gonna flip the noodle over and I've got these great little picture holder strips and you're gonna wanna put it on the back side of where each of these are. So I start by peeling the backing off. And now I stick and press it on the wall and I need to wait 30 seconds at minimum. I just open the pool noodle like so and I stick my broom handle inside. Here they are all hung up and I'm just absolutely thrilled with how easy this was and how it turned out.
Head to Dollar Tree and pick up 4 small wood crates, 2 small floating shelves. Take the white paint for all 4 crates. Assemble 2 crates together with hot glue and then attach the second shelf upside down with more hot glue. Take fairy lights and weave it through the holes of the wood crates. Attach the second level of the combined wood crates and do the same thing with the fairy lights. To cover up the seams, take rhinestone ribbon and glue into place. Take craft mirror tiles, cut them to size, hot glue into place, and then remove the protective cover.
Next time you're at Dollar Tree, scoop up some of the white wire baskets and grab yourself a paper towel holder. Then I'm going to take the paper towel holder and place it on the bottom and then cut out the wire basket just in the middle. You're going to slide it over top and then you're going to secure it in place with some zip ties at the bottom. You're next going to take your second wire basket and cut out the middle. You're going to place it on your paper towel holder and then you're going to place some zip ties around the paper towel holder to give it a little bit of a ledge to sit on. Then you're going to come in with some E6000 and then you can spray paint it your favorite color.
Head to your local Dollar Tree. Start by hot gluing the paper towel holder in the center of one pan. Hot glue rope starting from the outer edge and work your way in. And work your way up the center of the paper towel holder until reaching the top. Take twine and baskets and wrap, tie, and secure them on either side of the paper towel holder center. Take the second round pan and pour marbles into it. Place the top pan and the baskets on top. I'm taking 3 hexagon decorative mirrors and 4 small glass candlesticks from Dollar Tree. Stack 2 candlesticks on top of one another. When the glue has dried, I'm taking some black acrylic craft paint, apply the paint all over each candlestick column. Once that column is attached to the base mirror, I'm adding glue to the top of the column before stacking another mirror on top of it in the center. While I'm taking my second candlestick column and my third mirror, I'm flipping the mirror face down and applying the glue to the column before placing it on the center of the back of the mirror. It's time to stack the third mirror onto the other 2.
You'll need 4 of these chrome napkin holders, a paper towel holder, a set of these plastic chopping boards. First thing is to trace the napkin holder onto the chopping board 4 times and then cut out the half circles. I'm attaching those pieces of the plastic chopping board to the side of the napkin holder. I'm going to take these napkin holders and glue them to the bottom of the paper towel holder. Attach 2 more toward the top of the paper towel holder. Once the glue is all dry, for a little added security, I'm going to use some zip ties.
I'm using 1 large piece of foam core from Dollar Tree and 2 sheets of peel and stick wallpaper. Next, I'm going to use a squeegee to apply directly to the foam core board. I'm using 2 gold paper trays from Dollar Tree and my 2 wallpaper covered sheets of foam core to glue to the bottom of each tray. I'm applying the rub and buff all over the wood pieces. I'm allowing plenty of time for the gold to dry before taking my hot glue gun and gluing the cubes on either side of the wood dowels. Now it's time to assemble this whole project together. Take a clear adhesive hook from Dollar Tree and a paper towel holder. Add toilet paper rolls and you have easy and inexpensive toilet paper storage. Place scrunchies and hair ties over the top and you have an easy and cheap storage solution. Loop the zip ties around the paper towel stand, evenly spaced and secure in place. Take scissors and cut off the excess of the zip tie. Use a mini hot glue gun to add little dots of hot glue to make sure the zip ties stay in place. Cover the entire stand with gold spray paint.
We're gonna start with a baking pan and we're gonna fill it with a bunch of marbles. I need to remove the back off the glue dots and then peel off the backing. And I'm gonna place it onto the bottom of the baking sheet. I'm gonna flip them back over. As you can see here, this swivels really nicely. I'm gonna take a cooling rack. I'm gonna bend up either side. Now I'm gonna tip those cooling racks up and I'm going to tie the top of the cooling racks together as well as the bottom. I'm gonna place the glue dots onto the baking sheet. Take those cooling racks and I'm gonna stick them onto the glue dots. And I'm going to press firmly to make sure they adhere well.
To start this project, we're going to need 3 of these cute little craft storage bins. I'm going to use a pencil and we're going to line it up, let that bond for a second. So we're going to secure the other side with the glue and then we're going to go back in with our staple gun to make sure it's reinforced. So now that that's been reinforced, we're essentially going to do the same thing with another one. We're going to do the same thing for the third one. It's just going to sit up a little bit higher. All right, so now that this has been secured, what we're going to do is we're going to use some stain.
Go to the dollar store and get 8 of these mini trays. You're also going to need 4 of these little mini crates and start painting these. Glue one of these sides that has one of the holes, glue it to the back end of one of these pieces, and now we're going to go and create a U shape and we're going to go and press this together. Construct the next one, glue everything together, wait for that to dry. After those are connected, put some glue onto the top, and now we're going to go and put these little tiny mini crates that have the slats on the sides and let everything dry. And now we can go and put this into our kitchen and figure out where we're going to put everything.
So we're going to start with 12 of these really cute little crates from Dollar Tree. First, going to glue them together. So we are going to be using some wood stain. We are going to stain this as well. So we're going to put this into a formation. And what we're going to do is we're going to flip it over and we are going to put it on the center of our Lazy Susan. So we're going to go ahead and load this up. So we're gonna start this project with these really handy stackable organizer drawers. So I'm gonna be using a combination of E6000 and hot glue. So I'm gonna go ahead and stack this on top. Then we're gonna do the same thing on this top one. Set this aside to dry. We are going to focus on gluing these pieces together. And we're gonna put it together here. Make sure it is level this direction. So we're gonna go ahead and add to it.
I wanted to take a little side note to share that I was able to paint my mirrors because they originally were gold.
So I'm gonna go ahead and use hot glue on the back here, and we are going to be centering it on top. We're actually gonna be gluing these same mirrors to the sides where the drawers aren't pulling out. So now we're gonna take 2 cake pans, marbles as well. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna place this on top, and then we are going to put a layer of E6000, and then we're gonna be setting our organizer on top of that. Adhere it, wait for that to dry. So now we're gonna flip it over. And we have a Lazy Susan situation happening, but we're gonna add one more piece to the top of this.
Head over to the dollar store and grab one of these plastic trays. Now we're going to go and open up our little picture frames. Now we can take everything outside to spray paint it. As that first layer dries, we can go and use some of this looking glass spray paint. Now we can put some glue onto the sides of these pans, stick them together. Now we're going to take 5 different dots of this glue, put it on the corners, one in the center, and we can start to go and put some things onto it. Let's head back over to the dollar store and grab some of this chalkboard paint, one of those paper towel holders. You're going to also need a plastic tray. We can go and flip over our plate. Now we're going to take some glue and put it on the back and stick our paper towel holder onto here. After it has dried, we can take this outside. I'm going to be using some of this looking glass spray again. I'm taking chalkboard paint, and this is going to give it a lot of texture when I go over this with the second layer.
Head to Dollar Tree and pick up plastic storage drawers, hot glue them together, and then attach each stack to each other from the side. Take wood cubes and hot glue them under the drawers. Take 4 mirrors and hot glue them to the sides and the top. Add beads. Take 4 more mirrors. Take paint stir sticks and hot glue them to the backs of the mirrors to attach them all together. And glue nautical rope to the edges. Add the mirrors to the upper portion of a paper towel holder, and then place the holder back under the drawers.
Head to Dollar Tree and pick up 9 small wood crates and stain them with wood stain. Take 3 wood stir sticks and stain them as well. Next, glue the crates together with 3 in a row. Then stack and glue each row to the top of the first row. Cut the stir sticks to the right size and hot glue them to the front bottom of each row of the crates. Add 4 wood beads with hot glue to create a base. Then use a screwdriver to attach the drawer label holders to the stir sticks.
I grabbed 2 of these wood hangers. I'm pulling off the rope. I'm going to cover the front of the wood piece with the shelf liner, and then I'm just going to fold the edges over the sides. Grab 4 picture frames. These square ones work best. And then use a pliers to pull out the fasteners. Use some hot glue to attach 2 blocks to the bottom of the frame. Then glue the second frame to the other side of the blocks. You're going to do this twice with a total of 4 frames. Now we have all the pieces to assemble our shelf.
Take a bowl and cover the bottom in plastic wrap. Next, use a sponge brush and Mod Podge. Cover the entire bowl base with Mod Podge on the plastic wrap. Take rope and begin from the center of the base and wind it around towards the outer part of the bowl. Once completely dry, remove rope layer from the bowl and any excess plastic wrap. Pick up 4 doormats and duct tape from Dollar Tree. Tape 2 doormats together with duct tape. Make sure they are lined up on all of the edges. Attach the other 2 doormats to create one larger mat. Secure with duct tape across the outer and inner edges. Add duct tape strips all across one side of the mat, covering it completely. Take fabric of choice and wrap it around the large mat. Cut the edges of the fabric to make it about 3 to 4 inches wider than the perimeter of the mat. Fold around the mat and use a hot glue gun to secure the fabric in place. Take Scotch Guard and spray a couple of layers on the mat outdoors to add a protective waterproof layer.
The next time you're at Dollar Tree, make sure you head to their frame section and grab some of these gold frames. I'm then going to come in with some wire cutters and I'm going to pull out the black tabs that keep the backing on. Then I'm going to take out the glass and I'm going to come with some E6000 and I'm going to glue the glass inside the frame. Then I'm going to come and take 8 of the frames and I'm going to glue 2 of them together. And then I'm going to clamp them together and I'm going to let this set overnight. I came back the next day, removed all my heavy objects that I placed on top, and then as well removed the clamps from all the frames. So I'm going to glue all the sides and then I'm going to just raise them up here and build a rectangular shape. So 2 frames on each end and then the 2 that are glued together for the sides. I'm going to let this set overnight again, making sure that the glue is really solid. And then I'm just going to come in and finish it up with a nice A-frame top with my remaining 4 frames.
To start this project, we're going to need 3 of these cute little craft storage bins. I'm going to use a pencil and we're going to line it up, let that bond for a second. So we're going to secure the other side with the glue and then we're going to go back in with our staple gun to make sure it's reinforced. So now that that's been reinforced, we're essentially going to do the same thing with another one. We're going to do the same thing for the third one. It's just going to sit up a little bit higher. All right, so now that this has been secured, what we're going to do is we're going to use some stain.
Next time you're at Dollar Tree, grab one of these square clear plastic containers, a round garden dish, and some of these silver and white plates from the wedding aisle. And then I also had these wooden candle holders. I'm going to use a little bit of E6000 to secure them into place, and then I'm going to let this securely set. I'm also going to take the round garden dish and I'm going to glue that with the E6000 on top of the candle holders. Once it's dry, I took this appliance epoxy spray paint and I gave it a good coat. Then I'm going to take my plastic plate and I'm going to glue it to the front using the E6000. And then I'm going to give the whole thing a spray with this gray chalk paint. And then I'm going to come in just with some gray acrylic paint. I'm going to give it some texture on the sides as well as working in some black to give it a little bit of definition. Metallic spray paint, and I also sprayed the garden dish on the top, and then I came in with some white paint and I just dry brushed it on. I decided for the bottom part I wanted to add a little bit of a bright color, so I used this dune grass from Country Chic paint and I lightly patted over top. I next came in with this metallic paint. I did end up taking the plate off the front part because it was easier to work with. Then I took some Mod Podge and I printed off a vintage scale face and I Mod Podged that into the middle of the plate. Then I took this and glued it back onto the front part.
I'm taking 3 hexagon decorative mirrors and 4 small glass candlesticks from Dollar Tree. Stack 2 candlesticks on top of one another. When the glue has dried, I'm taking some black acrylic craft paint, apply the paint all over each candlestick column. Once that column is attached to the base mirror, I'm adding glue to the top of the column before stacking another mirror on top of it in the center. While I'm taking my second candlestick column and my third mirror, I'm flipping the mirror face down and applying the glue to the column before placing it on the center of the back of the mirror. It's time to stack the third mirror onto the other 2. Head to Dollar Tree and pick up 4 small wood crates, 2 small floating shelves. Take the white paint for all 4 crates. Assemble 2 crates together with hot glue and then attach the second shelf upside down with more hot glue. Take fairy lights and weave it through the holes of the wood crates. Attach the second level of the combined wood crates and do the same thing with the fairy lights. To cover up the seams, take rhinestone ribbon and glue into place. Take craft mirror tiles, cut them to size, hot glue into place, and then remove the protective cover. I'm using 1 large piece of foam core from Dollar Tree and 2 sheets of peel and stick wallpaper. Next, I'm going to use a squeegee to apply directly to the foam core board. I'm using 2 gold paper trays from Dollar Tree and my 2 wallpaper covered sheets of foam core to glue to the bottom of each tray. I'm applying the rub and buff all over the wood pieces. I'm allowing plenty of time for the gold to dry before taking my hot glue gun and gluing the cubes on either side of the wood dowels. Now it's time to assemble this whole project together.
Head to your local Dollar Tree. Start by hot gluing the paper towel holder in the center of one pan. Hot glue rope starting from the outer edge and work your way in. And work your way up the center of the paper towel holder until reaching the top. Take twine and baskets and wrap, tie, and secure them on either side of the paper towel holder center. Take the second round pan and pour marbles into it. Place the top pan and the baskets on top.
The next time you're browsing the toy aisle at Dollar Tree, don't pass by these plastic wiffle balls. And I'm going to take just some scrap fabric that I had laying around. I'm going to start with a bead of hot glue on my plastic wiffle ball, letting it set, and then pulling the fabric nice and tight. I'm going to wrap it around the wiffle ball. Then I'm going to glue that end down, and I'm just going to repeat this process over and over again, just overlapping my fabric a little bit each time.
I grabbed some mirror paint and thrifted light fixtures. I added a splash of vinegar to a spray bottle with water and lightly sprayed the inside of the glass light fixture. Next, I sprayed the mirror paint on the inside and drained the extra water and paint out. I sprayed the light fixture base black. Once dry, I painted antique gold rub and buff on it, leaving some of the black showing. Once dry, I added battery fairy lights.
Head to the thrift store and pick up a set of matching glasses. I'm grabbing a block of candle wax. I'm going to take this all to the stove, let it melt completely. I'm going to set it aside and let it cool. I'm going to add wicks to these glasses. Now I can pour the wax into each candle, and I'm going to let this set for a full 24 hours. Grab a candlestick, grab yourself a little container, and pour in some Mod Podge. Then you're going to add a few drops of food coloring and just apply a coat over the entire outside of the candlestick. Now I'm going to add a little bit of blue and then make another candlestick. My glass is covered. Just set these aside for an hour or two.
Once your jar candle is almost used up, let the candle cool and then pop it into the freezer for at least 2 hours. Wedge the edge of the knife into the side of the remaining wax. Now soak the jar with some hot sudsy water and then wipe the inside of the jar with a cloth or sponge. If you have a jar candle with a lid, remove the candle wax in the same manner. Take the lid of the jar and place painter's tape around the side of the lid. Now spray paint the top of the lid. Take a used wine cork and attach it to the top of the lid.
We're going to start today's DIY with a remote controlled light bulb. So we're going to take that little holster and we're going to glue that to the top with hot glue. And then we're going to put in our light bulb. We're going to take a clamp so that we can add that on top in order to hold your lampshade. Take that finial piece, screw that back on so it's nice and snug. You want to make sure that you have a nice clean surface. Rubbing alcohol is a good option. You'll need some sort of stencil and line that up and then just press down firmly. And it's really important here that you maintain the best seal possible. You'll want to take some painter's tape and put it around the surrounding edges. Now that you have your stencil in place, it's time to apply the etching cream. I typically do about a 5-minute time to allow it to sit, and then we'll rinse it off.
Run it under a stream of warm water and just allow the cream to gently rinse off.
Once you have the etching cream all rinsed off, you can go ahead and remove the stencil and the tape. But we're going to take it one step further, and I'm going to be using this Rub and Buff product to add some color to it.
We are going to grab a couple glass mason jars. You're going to grab a small dish and you're going to fill it with clear glue and a little bit of water. I used about 2 tablespoons of glue and about 1 tablespoon of water. Then I'm going to drop in a little bit of food coloring. Then stir it up until it's mixed really well. Grab your mason jar, make sure it's nice and clean. Pour that dark blue mixture into the jar and swirl it around so it covers everything. Once you've swirled it all around, you can dump the excess back into the original container. Now we want to let this drip for a little bit. Let it drip for about 10 minutes. Take a paper towel, wipe off any excess drips that are around the rim of the jar. Then place this upside down on a piece of parchment paper. Pop it in your oven at 175 for about 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, take it out, turn it right side up, and let it cool completely.
I grabbed some thrifted glassware for this brilliant garden decor. Then I grabbed some 2-part epoxy. I used a wood skewer to mix the epoxy and placed it around the bottom edge of one glass vase, then glued it to the bottom of the glass bowl. I set that aside and let it dry. I applied epoxy to the bottom of a different glass vase and placed the glass platter on top in the center. I grabbed the vase with the bowl and applied epoxy to the top and attached the third vase upside down, and applied epoxy to the top of the vase that is attached to the bowl, and I placed the other section on top.
Pick up a thrift store frame and remove the backing. Find a white mat that will fit the frame size. Hang the frame and mat on a wall. Find a small glass jar or vase. Take 2 command strips and stick the jar to the wall. You now have a 3D interactive wall art piece.
Head to Dollar Tree and pick up 3 glass carafes. Take twine and wrap, tie, and secure around the glass, and clip parts of the plant off. Add water to the glass bottles and then add clippings to the water. Hang a curtain rod and add more twine or rope from the rod.
On one of my most recent trips to Dollar Tree, I came across these glass bowls, and as well I spotted these cool margarita glasses. I'm going to take some E6000 and I'm going to spread it around on the bottom of the margarita glass. And then I'm also going to apply some E6000 on the bottom of one of the glass bowls. Then I'm going to place it on top. I'm going to leave this to set. In the meantime, I'm going to take my second glass bowl and I'm going to take some E6000 and I'm going to take an old drawer pull and then place that on top.
First, we're gonna spray paint. I'm using Rust-Oleum Satin Heirloom White and Rust-Oleum Stone. We're gonna take some painter's tape. You kind of wanna rough tear one edge of it. We're gonna put this along the bottom. I'm using a craft paint and I'm just using brushed gold. You kind of want to make it look like the paint is kind of tearing and you can see underneath it.
Saw some candles from Pottery Barn. I thought it'd be fun to try making them myself. I'm gonna put a little glue into a small container and then add a bit of paint. Now that I have the glue tinted, I'm gonna paint it all over the glass dish on the outside. I'm gonna leave these for a few hours before moving on. Using some Mod Podge, I'm gonna paint it around the dishes. I can sprinkle the white glitter all over it, and then when it dries, the glitter will stay in place. I grabbed these pillar candles from the dollar store and I'm gonna melt them down. I'm just gonna use a couple of skewers to hold the wicks in place. I want to add some essential oil to give my candles a beautiful scent. It's time to fill the glass dishes. The final thing to do is to remove the skewers and then trim the wicks.
So I've come back from the thrift store with a few items and now I'm going to clean them up. For this first one, I'm going to be using Folk Art Home Decor chalk paint, and I've got a stencil brush here. Dip it into the paint, but then I'm going to offload a little bit of it here. So I'm going to go ahead and just continue around. I'm gonna let them dry completely before the next step with these. For this next one, we're going to be using Pledge Floor Care Cleaner. Pour some of the Pledge Floor Cleaner into the glass base. Swirl the glass carefully so that it's all coated. I'm just gonna use some snowy glitter and I'm gonna dump a healthy amount in here. Now we start swirling all the way around. And I let it dry completely. Next, I'm gonna use some green glitter. Same process, and I'm gonna be using Folk Art enamel paint in the color Wicker White. For this last one, I'm gonna leave them plain. So we're gonna start with the cup, and I'm gonna choose to have it go up and upside down. One is super glue, and put it on the edge all the way around. You place it on top. So I'm gonna let this one dry, and we'll start adhering the other ones.